Hee.
All right.
Oh, coming in strong today, are you, sir?
Initiative.
Welcome back, gentlemen, to what's always my favorite day of the week, recording day, in which I get to, I don't know, I'm feeling really under pressure now.
Here.
Everyone's just staring really hard at me.
Well, you came in with a vengeance. You sounded like you had a preamble on.
I don't have a preamble. I just always feel like I need to fill the silence with sound.
Good evening. We're here on a lovely Sunday afternoon. How you guys feeling? Health rating out of 10.
Ooh.
Matt first.
I'm D6P5.
6P5. Sounds sub-Dece. Zach?
You can probably hear it. All week I've been a 0 out of 10. I've made my way up to, I think, like a 4P1 if I'm lucky.
4P1.
That's because I'm in a good mood right now. I'm at a table with good friends. Otherwise, I'd be at a slump 2.5. And yes, I just made up the word slump.
The P1 really is the differentiator between a good time and a bad time.
Right on. I'm rocking it at 10, 9.5 out of 10.
Whoa.
It's because he just got a dub in the finals.
And he's drinking a Canada Dry as a diet.
Yeah, 0 sugar.
Oh, cringe.
What? Dude, it's so good. It's the same thing.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. Diet soda is officially the wave.
Wait, the whole deal about aspartame?
Oh, no.
You have to drink like so much aspartame for it to even be bad for you. That's like one of those things that just goes viral and they say it's bad.
I feel like companies have been bullied about it enough. I think it's going to make its way out of diet soda within the next 5 years.
Just out of having a negative
Public
connotation.
pressure, yeah.
What a shame. I'm here for aspartame.
I bought futures on that.
You should have shorted it. All right, well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Letterboxd. I'm Matt.
I'm Dennis.
I'm Zach.
And you're listening to the Shitty Movie Review Podcast, hosted by your favorite cat dads.
That's right. Let's go.
All right, so unless we can just breeze past the weekly movie review, unless anyone has anything good.
Oh, I finally watched more media and I was excited to kind of share it with you guys.
All right, well, I feel like we never have any, so.
No, we always do.
Never anything good.
We're never skipping.
He's always just watching more Mad Men.
I watched 2 episodes of Mad Men.
Nope, there it is.
Forgot one. But I also started watching Fleabag, which is surprisingly funny, and it's nice and digestible 26-minute episodes.
Is this Boots' endeavor?
Boots? Oh, maybe. Boots McRiley or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I was literally thinking about this. This is what Andy was telling us about, right? Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, what was the name of that show? And then I was like, you trying to play the finals? And you're like, I'm watching Fleabag. And I'm like, that's what it was.
Fleabag. Let me see if it was Boots O'Reilly. But on top of that, I rewatched The Menu, which we reviewed ages ago, and it still holds up. Still very good. Love that movie.
Gave it 5 stars.
Yeah, we saw that.
Dude, I don't know if that movie can do anything better.
The ending.
It was good.
What was your original score?
I think 9P5.
Oh, okay.
Damn. That was
Same.
That's got a soft spot in my heart.
I don't think it was Boots McRiley that did Fleabag.
Oh.
Whatever.
What the fuck was that? All right, Andy. The fuck, bro.
What did you watch, Matt? Anything?
Zach, you go first. Do you have it more on the dome?
I watched nothing. I was in bed sick all week and didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't even bring my attention
Absolutely
to
no time to look at a screen.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah, you're so fogged out of it, you just stare there at the ceiling and do nothing.
Oh, shit. Damn, I didn't know you were that down bad.
It was bad.
Okay, well.
You said 0 out of 10. Did you not hear?
Hopefully you're on the up and up.
Easily top 4 most sick of all time.
Just lots of sleeping?
It's up there.
He called the doctor.
I tried to. Yeah, and if you know Zach, that's kind of crazy.
That's like a coming to Jesus moment, essentially, for Zach. I watched Easy A.
Yeah, nice.
I'd never seen that before, I don't think, back in the day.
Okay.
It seems,
it's just
it seemed like it would have been good for back then.
It was a cute little
romp.
Exactly,
life,
back when we were in middle school.
That's what ignited my Emma Stone crush.
Mine was Superbad.
Yeah. She was in Superbad?
She was hot in Superbad. Well, she was hot when we were kids. Now looking back, no.
Sorry, guys. I don't even remember her from Superbad. Either way, well, she's in this week's movie.
She is. And this week's movie was my pick, Poor Things, the recent release. That is, dare I say, taking the media world by storm? Is that too strong an accusation?
That's too strong.
Okay,
but yes.
I thought so. The second it started leaking out of my mouth, I was like...
Taking small circles of the internet by storm.
It is nominated for a Golden Globe for those who care about such things, -1 from the table, for Best Picture in the comedy or musical category. For those who are unfamiliar, for the Golden Globes, comedy and musicals are, I don't know why they're grouped together, first of all, but they're separated from like drama.
Okay.
So also we have Emma Stone with a Best Actress nomination for Golden Globe. For this as
Already,
well.
eh?
Well, Golden Globes are tonight, I believe.
Oh, sick.
So Oscar noms coming out later this month.
Very nice. Wow, that is a crime on, honestly, art to group musicals and comedy into the same genre. Because musicals are objectively bad.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't understand the grouping of those two. Obviously, the separation between that and
Drama would make sense.
drama makes sense. There are also supporting actor nominations, original score, director, screenplay.
I can see that.
All around the board, highly nominated,
Sure, yeah.
if you will. Directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. Have you guys seen any of his other doodads,
Can't
such
say I'm
as
familiar with his work.
The Lobster,
Mm-mm.
The Favorite, also starring Emma Stone, or I don't know about starring, but she's in that one, and Killing of a Sacred Deer, which Zach
I've not seen.
needs to see. This has been like an ongoing conversation for years. I've only seen Killing of a Sacred Deer, and that was very different to this movie. Much more serious. Starring Barry Keoghan in that one. Colin Farrell.
Ooh,
Little Banshee.
Irish
of
boys.
Inisherin. Yeah. And in this one, we have Emma Stone playing Bella Baxter. You might know Emma Stone from Easy A, as we said. La La Land, Birdman. She was also nominated for a award for her supporting actress gig in that one as well. We have Mark Ruffalo playing Duncan Wedderburn. You might know him from the MCU, unfortunately.
He's the Hulk.
The Hulk miniseries. I Know This Much Is True, that he got a lot of critical acclaim for. And Spotlight. Have you guys seen that?
Mm-mm.
Ooh, that one's good. And then Willem Dafoe. Willem.
Well said.
God plays Godwin Baxter, also known as God, frequently throughout this, which I like.
He's also the Goblin from Spider-Man.
Yep. Played Jesus Christ himself, as we previously noted in a different podcast, in the Last Temptation of Christ. And then he's also in Nightmare Alley, along with every other star in Hollywood. And then we have Ramy Youssef, who I guess plays maybe a smaller role in this, but worth mentioning because it's his first leap into the major motion picture scene.
Yeah, he didn't look out of place. He looked pretty good. Seemed pretty good.
Yeah, he's got a show with A24, self-titled, Ramy. Have you guys seen that?
Mm-mm.
Supposedly it's pretty good. I think it's a comedy show.
Nice. Well, it's a lovely looking cast.
We got a good cast here. Thoughts on the cast?
Good cast. Officially, thumb up.
All right, Jesus Christ. Let me give the quick rundown. So, synopsis is, brought back to life by an unorthodox scientist, a young woman runs off with a lawyer on a whirlwind adventure across the continents. Free from the prejudices of her time, she grows steadfast in her purpose to stand for equality and liberation. That sounds a lot more honorable than this movie perhaps maybe it strikes your cornea to be.
It sums up the tone of the movie quite well, I'd say.
Okay.
All right, Zach, you came off this movie real fresh. You viewed it today, eh?
Yeah.
All right, tell us about that viewing experience and what you thought of the movie all in one lovely package.
Movie experience was funny. It was my first bad movie theater experience in a while.
Oh.
Went to the Independent Picture House. Thought it was going to be like a low-key experience. Not that many people in there. It was fucking sold out. And then, actually, I mean, 99% of the crowd was great, but it's just one person ruined it or tried to ruin it for everyone.
Tried? Oh, boy.
Yeah. Just like, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was more of humorous and just kind of just like cringe. But like this one person was just sitting there and like, I thought they were autistic the whole time. At the end of the movie, Ashlyn was like, they weren't autistic, I promise you that. She was just a Karen. And like just weird things happen in the movie. Like there's obviously a lot of, what's the word, raunchous? It's kind of a raunchy movie. Raunchy.
Raunchiness.
There's like some raunchiness in the movie.
Raunchous.
Rich.
There's some, it's very adult in a lot of ways. I don't want to spoil anything. But,
sure.
It's erotic, to say the least.
There you go. Erotic. And she would, anytime there'd be like a weird scene like that, she would just make some weird comment. in the background.
Oh, that's annoying.
And
shit.
and then one person in front of her early on in the movie was like, "Hey, can you be quiet, please?" And then they like shut up. And then the rest of the movie, they held that against the person in front of them. So the person in front of them at one time like hit a can or something. The person was like, "Oh, well, you told me to be quiet. No, what are you doing?"
Oh my god.
And it was literally did that the entire movie. Like, and then they were like be talking a little bit. They're like, "Oh, I thought you told me to be quiet. What are you doing now?"
Oh god, it became a pissing contest.
And yeah, it was ridiculous. And I was like, "This can't be real." I thought they were gonna start fighting at one point.
I thought Independent Picture House was immune from such defect.
Me too. And then they also had their not flash on, but their screen was, I swear to God, 100% bright. They were way down the road from me, and I could just see it. Like that's why I thought they were autistic. I'm like, they're waving their flashlight in the air, they're yelling at the person in front of them. I'm like, what is going on here? How are they allowed in here? And then at the end of the movie, it's just I didn't get a good look, and I see her walk out. It's just an old woman with a cane, thinking that she's just better than everybody. Yeah.
All right, so Zach
What a bummer.
mistook someone for being neurodivergent, but doesn't matter because either way they were being an asshole. So, that's unfortunate. We saw it yesterday. Had a, I guess, better experience than that.
Yeah, I'd say
but
so.
we had a couple of choice characters in our crowd.
Oh God.
One that was just like laughing at everything.
He wanted you to know he was laughing.
Yeah, at like
Oh yeah, I hate those.
at like title cards, he was laughing. Like the location
way.
title cards, he was like I'm not even gonna try and imitate it. Like from the fucking back, and it was so loud.
Do the fake laugh. Yeah.
No, it was
Yeah, he was
more rambunctious than that. And then there was a girl in the front who would just like, she was a clapper. She would like clap, like not like applause, but like clap, like funny clap, and like cover up her face and be like, ah. You know,
Oh
like,
man.
Men use women for sex. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's a great bit by the movie and deserved a lot of applause and note.
But yeah, so ours was also pretty packed.
Yeah. I like the Independent Picture House though. I like that it's like small theaters, like 70 people max. There's really
Non-profit.
no need to have more than probably even 50 people in a theater.
Yeah.
Keep that shit low key.
We love nonprofit.
I'm gonna start going back to that place more on my own win.
Yeah, good for you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I like it there.
Venturing out. Most of the time, the crowd's pretty good in there.
Yeah. More respectful crowd than
Regal.
Yeah, like they might be a little bit loud at times or whatever, but it's just like with the movie versus being an asshole. You know?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's not teenagers
It's
that
more appropriate.
they got dropped off by their mom and are getting picked up in an hour and a half. kind of
True.
thing. Yeah. Who wants to start us off with their score? I'm very highly interested to see
Oh,
what everyone
God.
thinks of this movie.
Let's hear it, Zach.
Yeah, so I didn't have high expectations going into this just because based on the trailer, whatever, it just looked like a artsy fartsy, whimsical movie that I just like wouldn't be my cup of tea, but I still respected it going into it, knowing all the nominations it's getting. And the movie I thought it was good, and I think it's very deserving of like especially Emma Stone. Like she is outstanding, such a great job. I would say one of the best performances of the year, if not the best, like easily. And then the rest of the cast I thought did a great job. Willem Dafoe was great. Mark Ruffalo I thought was awesome.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it was it's hard to preface, but I respect the movie a lot. And the movie did a good, like, it wasn't not entertaining. It was enjoyable, but it just like wasn't my thing. And the way the movie was going at one point, I thought, and kind of based on the synopsis, I thought it was going to have more of a, like theme to it, like broader message, and like I thought it was going to kind of like get deeper, and I think with that extra layer, the movie might have been like extraordinary for me, but it just didn't have that. So I don't know. I just thought it was a good movie. It was unique. It was creative. It kind of felt like a breath of fresh air for something I've seen in a while. I always enjoy erotica in my film.
God knows you love erotica.
I think we all do.
Yeah. So
It was well done in this one.
but yeah, I mean, it was definitely way more funny than I expected going into it. Definitely had some good laughs. So yeah, I'll start it off with a 6.9.
6.9. Okay, seems
Strong.
low.
That's strong.
Seems low for the praise that you received, but whatever. No, I liked this one. It was a really cool story. Really fun, nicely painted, illustrated, I'll say. It gave me it reminded me of Spy Kids, the way Spy Kids cinematography is, with like weird sunset and cloud features in the background of a lot of stuff. So, like you said, Zach, very, very well acted by the whole cast. I really liked all the choices that they made for the characters. And and I don't know if I have a lot to complain about with this movie, but it just didn't hit for me as much as something with more action might have. Story, adorable story. I liked it a whole lot. And damn, there wasn't a lot to complain about visually either. I think the writing was really good too. But it was a little art house, so it's not going to break my top 10 or anything.
Yeah.
I'll start it out at a 8.
Oh,
Damn.
hot mama.
Yeah, maybe it's being carried by me not having a lot to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to have the staying power for me.
Wait, Matt, help us on this because this is my struggle. Like, I don't like. Obviously, it's not like an interstellar-esque sci-fi romp with interdimensional beings. Like, it's not my cup of tea. Like, it's not action. To his point, so like this is completely out of my realm of like genre of choice. Not horror, not anything. But I have nothing to complain about really, other than the fact that, like I said, I wanted a more like harder punching thematic thing on top of what I thought the story was going for with our main character. But still, I thought it was enjoyable. So how do I let that affect my rating?
Why are you asking me that?
You're so self-conscious about it. It's okay. 6.9 is
No,
a very valid
I think
score.
no. I mean, I think it's like I can see how this movie would not be for one person or another. Like, it's very. First of all, it's comedy, so like that just automatically is like 50% of the people. I feel like you
True.
can just divide people up depending on what their sense of humor is, and then it's also like I guess like a black comedy or dark comedy that it's like the serious story, so to speak, but then there's like fantastical elements and then just general shenanigans happening throughout. So it also can put people at odds with how they feel about it. That's me, the movie ratings counselor, helping you work through your score.
Well, thank you, sir. It's a good modern day Frankenstein story as a comedy. 6.9.
All right. I did not enjoy this movie.
Oh,
what a curveball.
No shot.
And I'm surprised that you guys did, honestly. Well, I'm surprised that both of you enjoyed it as much as you did, I guess.
Dang.
I mean, first of all, maybe I didn't know this was like a comedy going into it, which I feel like that can certainly fuck your shit up because I don't know if you guys ever experienced this phenomenon, but sometimes when I go into a comedy movie, I will like kind of force myself to laugh at times, like at the beginning, maybe to like get myself into like a type of mood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or just like try and like force myself to be like loosey goosey
Yeah.
and enjoy the time. And I don't think I knew that this was as much of a comedy as or as it was, or like primarily a comedy. And so I was expecting maybe a more serious story, and we didn't get that. Like the tone was kind of serious, but like, and the delivery was dry. But the like jokes did not really hit with me at all. I didn't really laugh at all during this movie, unfortunately.
okay.
And like looking back on it, I was thinking about this before we came here, that the jokes as written are funny.
Mm-hmm.
And the lines are funny, but like they didn't, like maybe it was just the delivery or like my like state at the time being able to receive those jokes was just incompatible. But yeah, it was unfortunate. I think like Mark Ruffalo's character was, I didn't really give a shit about him.
Okay.
Bella Baxter, I liked her a lot. Willem Dafoe, I think, was great. Like,
Really?
Mark Ruffalo was just fucking shooting out the C word every 2 seconds. And I'm like, okay, it's just kind of stupid funny. It's not,
Okay.
like,
In his defense, the
quality
C word is pretty funny.
yeah, maybe like the first 17 times. The latter 34, maybe not as much. But before I don't want to get into like every qualm I had with it, but I thought it was beautifully shot. Obviously, everyone else in the theater had a good time because people were laughing and stuff. So I know it's more of a subjective thing. I'll probably give this one like a 5.5, primarily on subjectivity. I did like the style it was shot in and like the whimsical and fantastical elements of it, and Emma Stone's portrayal of Bella Baxter. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to like, but it just didn't hit with me.
Would it be fair to say that this is kind of, I feel like this is kind of similar to Wes Anderson movies, the way the characters interact with each other and how they're all kind of goofy in some way?
Yeah, I could definitely see that comparison. Like, I can see that for sure. But I think,
Except I hate Wes Anderson, and this is Wes Anderson, but with an actual sense of humor. Not
Wes Anderson's more like,
that shit's not funny.
it's almost like like whimsical versus funny. And like I feel like we overuse the word whimsical to describe this. 'Cause
We
I don't-
actually should be using the word whimsical today. Just saying.
But I feel like this is less whimsical than
It's
like,
kind of fairy tale-y. That's whimsy.
Yeah, but this is more serious or like, I don't know. Wes Anderson's kind of just like comic book pacing or like, I don't know. I don't know how to
Snappy.
describe it. Yeah, kind of just like reminds me of like Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers.
Yes, very well said. Oh, dude, beautifully.
And it's just pop, 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 like moving between like almost like storyboards kind of. I see it
Yeah.
like different scenes. And this one maybe is a little bit more serious and slower at times, which maybe also put me at odds because it's like some parts of this are serious and other parts are not. And it's like, how am I supposed to feel like I'm shortening? My brain circuits are shortening. But whatever. 5.5 I'll start it at. But I'm interested to see the other things that you guys liked about it.
All right, let's go straight to spoilers.
Spoiler mode active.
Spoiler.
But yeah, so Matt said going into the movie, he didn't know it was a comedy. I also didn't necessarily know it was a comedy going into it, but like just based on the trailer, it just looked like a whimsical, kind of like ditzy movie with Emma Stone as the lead. That's exactly what the trailers led me on. So the comedy aspect actually surprised me. Like I found myself laughing. I'm like, oh, like very early on, like when because of how crude and like adult, I don't know what the right word is, but like early on they show you like the naked guy or all the naked bodies that Willem Dafoe's character is working on in his laboratory, and then he's like, Bella, he's like, Bella, you only deal with the dead ones. And she starts fucking with the dude's penis and then starts stabbing it like over and over in the face. Like I thought that like that kind of humor like in this movie I thought was really funny. Like some of the dark stuff. And then when her not husband, but Max
McCandles. Oh yeah,
her soon to be husband.
Yeah, that's played by Ramy Youssef. I don't know if I called that out. Yeah, Max McCandles.
But he like had a lot of good jokes too. Like he originally thought she was autistic at first, and like he said a joke that was I died at. I can't repeat it on air, but
he uses the R word.
Uses the R word, but it was really funny. I don't know. The movie surprised me with the humor.
Yeah,
and so like
it did kind of catch me off guard too. So I didn't cut you off.
No, that was it. Just early on, I found myself like laughing out loud. I was not expecting that, so I think that helps my score.
I'd say yeah. I'm very anti the trailers on any movie that I have intention of seeing. So pleasantly surprised by it wasn't like a cheesy forced Marvel movie comedy, and that was very well appreciated in my end of the in my seat at the theater, I guess.
Okay, very well. And what I guess like to your point, Zach, earlier about like the themes or like the message, I think there probably was more of a message here than. Maybe it wasn't like slap you in the face message, but maybe just talking about like, I guess like women and like how they should behave in society or whatever. Because there's a lot of elements or a lot of like references to like polite society. And I think Bella Baxter's character is refreshing in that it's like, what would someone act like if they didn't have she's put in a unique position, right? Because she's thrust into like adult life without knowing what she should be like as an adult, so she's learning versus like having that learning in private, and so she's experiencing all these kind of outbursts and just maybe odd behavior out in public. But I think it's kind of a cool character study on what a woman in this case might find themselves prioritizing and when they're first learning about the world and
that's what I
their
took
sexuality,
from it.
I guess. In this case,
it was like a free, like a big. Like camera or like what's the word like lens on the fact that it's like a free independent woman like literally ignoring all the men around her and like doing what she wants when she wants. Like I liked what it was showing with that, but I guess I want like towards the end of the movie in the climax I wanted a more of a like maybe a little pop in the face.
Yeah, you
said I don't want a message to slap me in the face, but maybe I did a little bit or something just to tie it off at the end to bring it all full circle and like make a point out of it. Because at the like, I guess one of my complaints is at the end of the movie, I'm just like, that's the end. Even though like I had some enjoyment throughout the movie, as a like thinking about the story itself, like as the director, whoever wrote the script, like from his opening ideas to the ending ideas of the script, it's like the story in totality. I'm just like, but there's like some fun moments in between.
Yeah,
it's a good time, not a long time.
Yeah,
perhaps in your brain.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's beautifully said by both of you guys. It was a good time throughout the whole movie, and maybe it doesn't have a groundbreaking message or lesson to deliver, but it tells the story and it delivers the message it was trying to very well. and it didn't milk any points that it shouldn't have, I think. Let's blow the case wide open. Maybe as just a refresher to anybody that hasn't seen the movie, Emma Stone's character was an adult woman who committed suicide as she was pregnant, and this Frankenstein-esque doctor takes the brain out of the unborn child and puts it in the body of the adult woman. So she's essentially an adult woman with the brain of an infant that has just been born, and he kind of, the Frankenstein-esque doctor, Willem Dafoe's character, raises her and teaches her how to kind of behave. And she progresses rapidly, kind of like Benjamin Button. She's like an older being physically, but she's very infant in her brain. So she's like learning how to walk and talk and everything and behave. Very beautiful, very lovely, ditzy, fairy tale-esque premise. And then the movie takes like a pretty kind of stark turn from this fairy tale land when she learns to pleasure herself for the first time. And then it just gets blown wide open and becomes a series of, I guess, like sexual escapades. And man, does it go hard on that point. Emma Stone's naked or getting pounded for, I think, maybe something close to like 30% of her screen time.
Yeah. And it's like in modern movies, I guess people probably say to like, don't use nudity unless you have to. And this kind of seems like over indulgent in that, but it's critical to the story kind of,
it's so
but it's
critical,
also and
yeah.
the character. So it's almost like twisting that narrative and putting it on its head, because like Emma Stone is not like, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but she's not someone that is trying to work her way into Hollywood that could maybe see some new benefit to, you know, getting nude on camera. Like she's established. She's
already at the top of the game.
Right. So like for her to step into this role makes me see it from that standpoint more, in that like she's doing this because it's more of like a liberating for women kind of thing. Like this is what, you know, like if I want to do this, I can do this, and I'm a baby and whatever, like I'm learning this for the first time and this is what I want to do. And that's just how it is. And it doesn't need to be like frowned upon just because, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
She's
big
doing a lot
creds.
of
She bears all with like a lot of confidence. It seems like she has a producer credit on this movie too, so she definitely has a hand in you know, making some of those creative choices too. You know, we'll literally be having sex on camera for a good portion of the screen time.
Yeah, so she gets proposed to by Max McCandles early on in the movie at kind of the direction of Godwin, who is
Her creator,
commonly referred to as God for short, but kind of also her dad in a maybe non-traditional way. And then she kind of runs away with Mark Ruffalo's character, Duncan Wedderburn, who is this kind of idiot lawyer who
a total dunce,
who is primarily focused on like having sex and showing her the world, quote unquote. But he's very worried about what other people think of him, and including what Bella thinks of him.
Yeah, he wants to maintain control over her as much as possible. He wants her to be all his. Yeah,
and so she's kind of going out and trying to have fun with him before she settles down with Max McCandles. And she does just that, and she outgrows Mark Ruffalo's character pretty quickly in her intellect, and as she's kind of discovering herself and what she wants, and how Duncan Wedderburn fits into that picture, or how he doesn't. And then, she ends up coming home to, what's his face?
Max McCandles.
Max McCandles. What did you guys think about the twist at the altar with
I was waiting for that to
with
happen.
her
It was,
ex-husband,
so
quote unquote ex-husband?
eventually, jealous as hell, Mark Ruffalo's character finds the former husband of who once was Victoria. That's who Emma Stone was before she killed herself. And says, hey, your wife's actually alive. Here she is. Go interrupt her marriage. He does. The ex-husband does just that. And then Bella, Emma Stone, decides to go with him and see what this former life she had was like. She gives it a test drive, finds out it wasn't for her.
There's a reason she jumped off a bridge.
Yeah, that guy is dry as
right.
hell and actually just the worst.
Yeah.
He's like some military general rich guy.
Cut from the same cloth as Wedderburn, in that he's very controlling, and he literally will not let her leave the house, holds her at gunpoint, and it's not a good...
Yeah, she decides she doesn't want that anymore.
I think she killed herself because like she got pregnant and was like, I don't want to bring a child into his house or like have his or that be its father. So she's like, the child better be dead, and I'd rather be dead. So she took out both.
Yeah.
True. For that whole arc of the story, it was fine. I didn't get a lot out of it. A movie probably could have saved 30 minutes by excluding it, but I don't think it took away from the movie at all.
I liked her seeing her seeing her stand up for herself, maybe in an independent situation where it would have been easier to kind of submit to him.
Yeah.
And maybe she would have found some comfort in submitting, but her newfound kind of confidence and literally newfound life, I was going to say newfound take on life, but she had no previous take. Yeah, like kind of pushed her to get the fuck out of there, and he was going to basically clip her, or take the pleasure out of any sexual experiences that she was going to have via surgery, and she just threw the chloroform right back on him and ended up shooting himself in the foot.
Yeah, it was a nice display of like her humanity too, and how she, is not a vengeful person. She's kind of clear of any real emotions in a lot of way. Like she's very deadpan with her delivery of a lot of lines and like jokes when she's talking to Duncan, saying like, "Oh, well, I really don't care about you all that much, so I don't see there's a point to us being together anymore." Whereas he's having emotional outbursts and everything. But in that scene when after her husband's shot in the foot and probably going to bleed out, she still, takes pity in some fashion and brings him to the surgery center. And
that's worse.
Takes pity, quote unquote, until
she saves his life.
She turns him into a goat. I'd rather be dead.
Yeah. So Willem Dafoe's whole thing is that he's taking brains from one being, putting it into another's body, and reanimating them, as he did with Bella. And now she takes the brain of a goat and puts it into the body of her ex-husband, and he is literally finishes off the movie by eating grass and baying like a goat.
Well, okay. I guess I understood that as his brain went into the goat as well, so that he could live life as a goat, which I guess I don't know if you're still conscious.
Goat's brain. Confirmed goat's brain.
Right. Goat's brain in his body.
But there's also, his brain went somewhere.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was thinking of that as like, her showing some humility and like...
It's like human centipede. Instead of killing you, I'm going to put you in three humans together to make an insect.
That's not even close to the same tone or sentiment. But no, she was like pretty clear of any, I guess, moral flaws, I guess, in this movie. At least that's how it came off to me.
She was reading a book about ethics.
Well, yeah.
Like 90% of the movie.
I love the whole part where she meets I can't call him the token black guy.
Dude, I literally thought that it was Marshall
Ali.
Ali, and I was telling everyone, "Oh yeah, it's that movie with Marshall Ali in it." But it was not. His
name was like Ashley or something.
He was good. I liked his small
Harry
little
Ashley.
It was Gerard Carmichael played Harry Ashley.
Harry. I liked her experience with him, and like the whole bit of her because I don't know, if you try and look at this movie through a different lens, like dig deeper into it, you can make some sort of point that like it's basically just like a child growing up, and obviously that's it's a child or baby's brain, but it's like you don't really know it. Like everything is all sunrises, roses, like everything's beautiful, the world's awesome, blah blah blah. And then he's like, no, you need to see the bad side of the world, and so he takes her to this place where you see there's like poor people and like rapists suffering. And like it breaks her, and like she freaks out. And, like I don't know, I thought that was neat to show some sort of character growth or some moral growth into her. And then she starts reading philosophy, ethics, and like I just love how she's like questioning everything now, and that sets her on her furthermore in her journey. So
I think it's really neat. I like you said, the idea or premise of like showing somebody that's had no exposure or no life experience with all of these different aspects of being alive. Really cool. Like I said, I forgot what the reference was, but also like Flowers for Algernon, I think it is, where it's like that story where there's this man who's like very dumb, and they like give him a drug that makes him like learn really, really fast, so he becomes really, really smart, and he starts to like pick up on more aspects of life. Very cool things to me. That tickled my fancy. That was up my alley for sure. And
the more I think about it, like towards like the sexual aspects that Matt was saying earlier, because it's like a taboo thing, and especially in film, it's been more, I guess, secluded over time. And like Matt said, it's like it's more tasteful nowadays, or at least it's been a trend to show less nudity. Whereas the more I think about it, I'm like really appreciative of this movie for flipping that on its head, because it's like, why is it such a taboo thing when like, I mean, it's like the whole purpose of this movie is showing like basically this baby, this child knows nothing, and you're just like thrown into the world of like all this sin and of all these things that you can't control. And so like the whole movie is like her like basically taking control of things she can't control, and then it's like one of the first things she learns is like touch herself. It's like it's such an innate thing. The same thing as shitting, pissing. Like we can't help it. We're humans. So I like that the movie goes so hardcore into that, and it takes up 30% of the screen time. I mean, that's literally, we're just humans, and like we can't help that we have those feelings. And so of course that's what she's going to do. Yeah. She's like, it feels good. Well, you're not going to do it. Like that's all she knows. And then you go from that to, oh shit, like I don't want to touch myself anymore. I'm depressed because I just saw, poor people dying on the streets. It's like the more intellect and more you learn, it's kind of a curse. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah. There's like a lot of different things you can pick out of that, but I thought it was cool.
Yeah, to your point about like the taboo part in or just like nudity in Hollywood these days, I think this does a good job of kind of dealing with that in a figurative and literal sense, in that like figuratively, I think historically my impression in what's wrong with nudity in Hollywood is that it's been at the hands or at the choice of the director, who is commonly a man, and it's not always necessary, or like doesn't
it's not
bring
serving
anything.
A purpose.
Right, exactly. And so in this movie, both in the movie is about giving the reins of sexuality back to the woman, Bella Baxter in this case. She's taking control of that. She's choosing to have sex for money on her own accord. She's just choosing to be more sexual and in several aspects of her life outside of the kind of working aspect. But then also Emma Stone being a producer on this, like we said, being someone who's already established in Hollywood and taking the reins back of like sexuality on camera and like nudity on screen, and saying like, it's okay because like I'm the woman, I'm choosing to do this, and like I think that it's telling, or an important aspect of telling some story that we want to tell.
Yeah, it wasn't superfluous or putting boobs on the screen for the purpose of boobs on the screen.
Yeah.
It was a cinematic tool per se.
Tasteful boobs, if you will.
Always tasteful boobs.
Respectful, meaningful, purposeful boobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
The best kind.
Yeah, honestly. All right. I want to talk about the cinematography in this. Did you guys, obviously it's really good and very unique. Do you think that this movie would have been as effective without like all that whimsical effort? Like, because I feel like while it made the world seem more fantastical, the story could have taken place in a world that didn't look like that.
The tone would have to change as a story for that. Like the whimsy part of the art style and how it's shot goes hand in hand with the kind of dark humor tone to it. Heavy on the humor, I guess. Like you can't have a movie with all that sex and all these jokes and then it be like this dark, grim, like Dark Knight-esque style world where it's like real. Like there's freaking tram cars in the sky that look like they're flying on zip lines. Yeah, like it has to have that, in terms of a world building aspect, it has to have that whimsical,
like surrealism,
yeah. Exactly. Like for this to work.
You said it really good. You said it was like akin to Cat in the Hat, and it's very like Dr. Seussian in its settings. It's like they've got these bombastic giant chairs that they're sitting at on a normal sized dinner table.
Yeah,
I think like windows and doorways are often shaped in like weird curvy ways that you would see in a Dr. Seuss book too. Her dad, her creator, is essentially like a Frankenstein's monster. He's got all these like scars and stuff. It looks like he's stitched together. I think you're definitely added to the story too.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Zach, very well said, lighthearted, funny ditzy tone, but also deals with like some serious, actually on-screen interactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the cinematography a lot. I think that was really, you don't really see. Like, that's why Cat in the Hat's, like, the nearest reference, which is from, what, fucking year 2004 or some shit? Mm-hmm. Like, you don't really see that kind of surrealist portrayal of just, like, or just set design and whatever, like, effects in movies these days. It's more kind of futuristic looking. And
even more rarely is it done, like, tastefully or well.
Right.
Well, you do. That's... Everybody sucked Wes Anderson's dick for this, and I think it's horrible. Like, it just doesn't work for me. And I feel like Wes Anderson, you can make an argument that Grand Budapest does a better job of what you're saying than this does.
It's not surreal though. I don't think it's as surreal. It's more
Yeah,
I'm running out of art terms.
There's
to use here.
there's just not as much curvy windows and doorways and stuff. Everything looks much more conventional in Wes Anderson, even though it is like weird pastel colors and everything.
Yeah, and it's like there's like Grand Budapest Hotel is like sitting on top of like a mountain by itself, and like that's very unrealistic.
That's like picture books kind of thing, not necessarily surreal.
Well, like when they go to the I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go against my own argument.
So welcome to the Art Podcast, where we talk about different types of use of art in media.
Because we're intelligent, we know art.
Yeah. And you guys fucking like Mark Ruffalo, dude.
Dude, I think this is like some of Mark Ruffalo's better performances. I mean, he's
agree.
usually a serious guy, right?
Yeah. I thought he was funny as fucking this.
He plays a dunce really well, and that's really what his character was. And I think he kind of nailed it,
It's
man.
kind of hard to play a prick.
I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying like I feel like the character is like, who the fuck cares?
Well, that's the point. It's like he's supposed to be a forgettable, like,
he's just
little motherfucker.
Yeah. He's just like a vessel for her to move on from eventually and grow out of.
His purpose is to be outgrown and for us to identify with Bella as to why he is no longer a suitor.
I'm not used to men being used as vessels in movies anymore. This movie's doing all sorts of things for my stereotypes in my brain.
What did you not like about him? Was his like just too complaining?
I guess he was just like annoying, but I guess like you're saying, that's the point. And that maybe he stuck around for too long.
He did kind of keep cropping back up and
like and then literally through the end of the movie almost he was involved. But yeah, I don't know. I just think his like writing was whatever. Like the humor that the humorous aspects of his character weren't funny to me because it was just like stupid humor, just like yelling curse words and getting slapped in the face and saying "ow" or like whatever. Like, dumb shit.
That was so dumb. That was in a trailer, and that's what made me not want to see this movie. That one specific scene. I was like, this is not funny. But there's going to be a 64-year-old woman in the crowd laughing.
He did bring a lot of funny moments to the screen that were also like very kind of stupid as well. But he is literally like a stupid guy, a stupid character.
Yeah, that's fair. I did fucking love Willem Dafoe though. I thought his lines were written so well, and like all the fucking dark humor about, oh well, that's like why this happened to me as a child, and my dad like branded me on the penis or whatever.
Yeah.
The dumbass, like he would just deliver it so seriously, and it was just so fucking funny because it's like, who thinks of this stuff 1st of all, and you can tell that I don't know, he's just the product of a mad scientist, and now he's a mad scientist himself, and all the stupid shit that comes along.
Yeah, so you want a spin-off movie based on his character? That'd be sick.
I wouldn't mind it.
Dude, Willem Dafoe is always good, but I don't know if I liked his character, and maybe this is just because I'm a dickhead idiot. But like his face, props. His face is hard to look at too, and
just with the prosthetics and makeup.
Yeah. And maybe I just like what he looks like normally. He honestly, maybe the point would have been driven as home as hard, but he probably could have played this without prosthetics to a really high degree.
Did you catch the Spider-Man almost bit?
No.
Like the whole meme that I'm somewhat of a scientist myself.
Oh.
He almost says that.
Oh, damn.
They're sitting at the dinner. Like there's somebody else in the crowd that chuckles, and I was like, I like looked up at him.
Real recognize real.
But he was sitting at dinner. It was early on in the movie, and he's talking to Max, I think, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm somewhat of a." And then he said whatever.
Damn
it was good.
I wish I would have
held
held
line
that
from Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's like a funny meme.
Yeah,
it's huge.
No, I'm something of a scientist myself, but they replace scientist with whatever else fits the joke. And that.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. He was fine. He wasn't as funny to me, and he was kind of like, I don't know. He was definitely kind of creepy, more so for me than anything else. I was more creeped out and weirded out by him. He's always burping up these weird bubbles for some reason.
Gastric juices, baby.
Yeah, he's got like all kinds of like cysts and stuff growing inside of him, and he's dying. It was so strange. So,
yeah, I liked him a lot.
I think he was maybe
felt
the
like a warm
part
blanket.
Of the movie. What?
Dude,
he's a long lost father to me.
Dude, honestly, it's so okay, this is a good point. So what did you think about his like role as a father for Bella?
I thought
being with the creepy backdrop.
Yeah, he was good at it, and I appreciate that he was the one kind of injecting her without a better word, with this sense of like carefreeness and like, he sheltered her from the world, but that was for her benefit because it bred her to, not have those societal norms in her, which was really cool. But also the fact that we kind of find out that like he created her because he wanted her to be his mate.
Oh, maybe
initially.
I missed that. Did I miss that? Props.
Maybe say that again.
Like he wasn't. Maybe I misunderstood this, but didn't he initially like save her with the intention of breeding with her to some degree until he found out he couldn't fuck anyone?
No, I think
Oh, maybe.
no. He's always known that he can't fuck. Like he doesn't have like those same sexual desires as like a normal human. Because remember, he went on that long funny rant and all these scientific terms about how like his cum is different or something. I don't know.
But I thought like
But
at the beginning of that rant, it was unveiled to us that like maybe initially he wanted that from her, but then
I didn't
after
catch
realize
that.
maybe it's not important then, but it was definitely just weird. I thought before we even found out about how this movie was going to be about Bella more so, that I thought it was going to come to light that he had put the infant's brain in her so that he could illegally have sex with a very mentally young person.
What?
No,
I thought that's what the direction it was going to take, but I'm very happy it didn't.
Yeah, no, that would be fucking creepy. We talked about this in the car on the way home after the movie but about like the sexualization of Bella Baxter and how it almost felt unnatural to sexualize her because she was like a child.
Yeah, like I think the first time she gets bare on screen, she's mentally like 12 or something.
Yeah, so it's just like that. I mean, because obviously she's not, but she is. So it's like, how do you?
Well, you can't even.
Creates this weird like tension kind
But
of.
you can't even like
intentionally tension.
Well, you can't even think about that or like calculate that in any way because it doesn't make sense putting an infant's brain into a human body. Like, not even trying to think about this logically. But if you wanted to go there for just a second to give the movie any
Chris
sort of
Hansen's standing
backbone,
outside.
yeah, like you can't do that. It doesn't work because
I don't know.
Putting an infant's brain into a human's body, like that doesn't. How do you categorize age at that point?
I know it's not possible, but it's
Mental
like engaging
age,
with the
which is
hypothetical.
But then
if
it's
you
like-
put a 12-year-old's brain into an adult woman's body, does it become more or less ethical?
Well, this
at that
isn't a
point?
12-year-old. This is
All right.
basically a
No one's
1 month old.
No one's close enough to pedophilia that we need to be even having this discussion.
No, that's not even my point. This isn't even about pedophilia. I'm just saying.
Let's keep it that way.
That's a good one-liner.
I'm saying how can we figure out how old she really is? If
No.
all the only backing is the brain size.
It's irrelevant. All I'm saying is that I think that having her be mentally young does the movie benefit in that the audience is potentially less likely to see her in a sexual way and more likely to see her as a girl/woman that's like
Going through
growing up-
puberty.
going through this.
That's how I see it. Yeah, going through puberty for the first time.
experience.
You're experiencing shit for the first time. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I think that's
For
good.
sure.
I think
Yeah,
they did
it
a
was
good
good.
job
yeah,
of that.
that's what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe am I just a weirdo for having that question pop up into my mind? Like, is this bad to be watching?
No, that's good. That feels like then that's the movie's effective in that way because the fact that you're even
Mhm.
having that thought means that you view her as young. even
Good.
though she's not.
Perfect. Thank you for clearing my conscience.
We'll let the record show that.
Yeah. This isn't even about pedophilia, by the way.
So do we have or is everyone agreeing across the board that she's deserving of the Best Actress nom for this?
What are the other noms?
Oh no.
Shit you probably haven't seen.
Before I even comment, I would say yes. But
I mean, it's just
you're
like
gonna throw
all right,
Robert
so I guess,
Pattinson at me.
Robert Pattinson's not an actress, so that works.
The glazing is crazy.
Let me just preface it or say it this way then. Do you think that this is an Oscar worthy performance or is she worthy of being in discussion with, is this a top level performance?
Yes.
I'd say so, yeah. She was, honestly, the fact that she can kind of portray a child in a woman's body to the degree she did, and then in the same span of an hour and a half, portray a distinguished, esteemed, intelligent woman and not have either of those seem out of place or like she was struggling with any of them. Really, really well done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. I agree with that. I think it's a very interesting, it's almost like one of those movies that is non-conventional and that it's like kind of ignored for the purposes of award season. Like horror movies, for example, are never included in that discussion. And this one just being like overly sexual, almost like you'd think it wouldn't be involved in that discussion, but I'm glad it is.
Oh, it looks like Margot Robbie's in the running for Barbie, eh?
Oh, of course.
Oh, she's gonna win then.
But that's actually, yeah, I guess it's a comedy. So,
Oh,
but I don't necessarily think that's a shoo-in for her. We have
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Fantasia, Barrino, Charlotte Native. Did you guys know Fantasia?
it's 2022.
No, who's Fantasia?
Fantasia is starring in The Color Purple. She was
Oh, the American Idol
American
winner.
Idol. Did she win?
Yes.
She's from North Carolina.
Yeah, she's from Charlotte. My mom saw her at Harris Theater one time. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence and No Hard Feelings.
Ooh.
You hated that movie.
I did not hate that movie. Also, full nudity in that movie.
Jennifer Lawrence?
Shout out to women. You already knew this. Natalie Portman in May December. Alma. Oh, I'm going to butcher this.
Alma Poisty.
She didn't even have a picture on Wiki. She's not getting an award.
From Fallen Leaves, Margot Robbie and Barbie, and Emma Stone.
Oh, come on. I want Emma Stone to win. I think she will.
I think she's got a good shot at it.
I think everyone's going to see right through Barbie. Margot Robbie's on Barbie.
Margot Robbie's a good actress, but like this is more impressive.
They're like,
Yeah,
she
for
didn't get nude in Barbie, so we're gonna give it
Stop.
to Emma Stone.
I think this movie probably does a lot of Barbie's feminist allegories better. Maybe more subtle and more creatively, though.
Now that's a conversation.
But it's
Let's go. Let's do another hour.
again, this is like it's just different
It's a more entertaining story for those allegories, I'd say.
potentially for people who
For adults.
don't need to be handheld down
Yeah.
the path of toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Not that this is toxic masculinity; it's more feminine liberation.
It's
perhaps.
pro women and less anti men.
This is for smart people.
We need a woman on this podcast for this current instance to tell us about this.
I don't know.
But no, I mean it's just like our conversation about men last week and how there's different ways to tell similar tales, similar messages.
Funny how we did a movie about men, not women. Whatever.
This movie's about women, idiot.
Men was about men.
This is called Poor Things, though, so that doesn't bode well. Wait, well, who's Poor Things? What is Poor Things?
Oh yeah, that's
Poor
a good
Things.
point.
Poor Things is in Emma Stone's character. I'm not going to pretend to know.
Poor things. So poor things from a cellular standpoint.
Molecular.
I mean, molecular standpoint.
Atomic.
I mean, atomic standpoint.
Neutronian.
All right, good.
I think it means.
It's based off a book.
No,
just-
it's not.
It is.
Why is everything based
Wait.
off a goddamn... No, I don't think it is. It? Oh
I
my
don't
god,
think
it is. 1992 novel. You're right. You're the only one that does research around here. Fuck.
That's a bad look.
Okay, now I don't like this movie anymore.
I think it did. I think it deviated a good bit, though. I read the synopsis of the book, and the Poor Things, the book, is derivative of a different book too,
Oh god.
but in the same universe. It's kind of like a spin-off of its
Russian
own book.
nesting doll of
Yeah,
conceptual
yeah.
theft.
Wait, what's it called? Books about sex. What do they call it? Smack.
Smut.
Smut.
Smack.
Smack's more appropriate, I guess.
I would recommend you get on the internet a little more, actually.
I think the book started as a young adult smut, and then it became something, and then the 1992 novel, and then became this film.
More
They
tasteful.
they incorporated everything together.
This is probably the best iteration of these characters
Yes.
and story.
This
This
is
is-
the best smut I've
This
ever
is the
seen.
best smack Zach has ever seen.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts? I'm trying to think of any other key elements of this one that we didn't really talk about.
Mhm.
I'm also mad that Yorgos didn't write this, so now I have less respect
let's
for him.
learn about Tony McNamara, the writer of this. Did he write anything else good? Cruella.
DeVille?
The Favorite is
With Emma Stone. He's a big Emma Stone guy.
Yeah, so The Favorite is Emma Stone and Yorgos as well.
Damn.
And yeah, what's his TV look like? Doctor.
Nothing,
No one
man.
cares about that. The Great.
Oh,
Also,
Big guy in Australia, eh?
Puberty Blues.
The Secret Life of Us?
No, I think this movie was based on Puberty Blues. The Australian coming of age comedy drama. Dennis said, "Get me the fuck out of here." All right. Any other things before we hit into final thoughts here?
I mean, all jokes aside, this movie literally is puberty blues, if you think about it. Literally. And I'm for it.
There's a small argument to be made there.
Lots of blues.
Small argument against.
Less blues, more.
It's a blue. It's a struggle, just like Poor Things. It's the struggles of going through life of learning
Yes,
about
as
the
a guy
terrible world.
who's the biggest fan of puberty blues.
I want to know what that is now.
I expect you to watch all 3 seasons by next week's episode. All right, I'm forcing us into final thoughts.
Yeah, I
by,
think it's about time.
It's getting out of hand.
All right, want to use?
Okay, I can start off. Yeah, this movie is not something I'd probably pioneer myself to go see on my own free will, but I was very glad that we did because the experience was good. The story was very visually enthralling. I was not really bored at any point. I think every scene pretty much served a purpose and contributed to the characters and their arcs. Emma Stone is very beautiful. She does a really good job playing her character, so I think she's very well deserving of an imaginary award that doesn't mean anything, in my opinion. The Oscars.
Okay.
I'll rate this movie, I'll keep it at an 8 because
That's insane.
whereas I probably, I'm not going to hold this to any top 5 or top 20 thing necessarily. I would definitely rewatch this in the same way that I rewatched The Menu recently, and I feel like I would probably enjoy it, maybe even a little bit more, or at bare minimum same amount as I did The Menu.
Okay.
They're in the same way.
All right. Very well.
All right. Very well.
Zachary?
I'm going to keep my score about the same. I'm going to drop it 1 decimal.
For
just
good
to,
measure.
just for good measure. To fit it in with my other catalog. But yeah, 6.8. It's not for me. It's not my genre of choice. But thinking about it, this dark humor mixed with this whimsy world that's kind of silly, but also touches on some adult themes. If there's a word for that genre, I kind of like it now. So I'm a fan. It was interesting. I enjoyed it, but the story itself just wasn't all that great. It could have been from start to finish a better, I don't know, some more entertaining story in a way. It kind of dragged in some areas. I thought it was a little overbloated, a little long, almost 2.5 hours. This is a 2-hour movie. I think that it would help it out a lot. Because I would say I was bored in a few spots that just dragged. But still, it was very funny. I can't underscore that enough.
Underscore.
That's valid use of underscore.
Underscore, you mean underline?
No, underscore.
Underscore is
Same
actually
thing. It's literally the same.
Okay.
For the audience, I fuck up so many times. Even when I get it right, I still get yelled at.
I don't think you got it right, but we'll have that
No,
discussion afterwards.
I got it right, y'all. I lost my thought and I'm done now.
Would you recommend this?
That's hard. I could there's a lot of people that go into this movie and just be check out immediately. This is dumb. And then some people I think would think it's really funny, and then some people wouldn't. I don't know. I don't even know who to recommend this to. Probably just go try it. If you like Emma Stone, how about that? If you like Emma Stone and you don't mind some sex in your film, go watch it.
Yeah, that's enough to get people in the door, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you guys talked me up a little bit. I mean, I was more hung up on my lack of enjoying it in the moment versus more of the subjectivity versus the objectivity. This is definitely a good movie. Very unique in a lot of ways. Well acted, despite the excessive use of the C word by Mr. Ruffalo. You'll answer to that one day, sir. I think the message is good. Perhaps, like Zach said, maybe smack me in the face a little bit more in the moment. So that way the audience who never thinks about the movie once they leave the theater gets the message as well. I think maybe you need to think about this one a little bit more. But yeah, just maybe not my type of comedy, or just lack of knowledge that this was a comedy and going in with at least 1 beer's worth of alcohol in me to force some laughs. It did drag at times. Agree that 2.5 hours was too long. 2 hours would have been better. And yeah.
Recommendation?
I agree. This is hard to recommend. If you are a savant,
Like
perhaps,
us.
well, that's what I thought, but I didn't enjoy it. If you're a savant, you'll probably like this. Our film major friend gave this 5 stars, if that tells you anything. Average moviegoer, perhaps not. Middle-aged father, perhaps yes, due to sex and comedy. It's really, there's no way to tell who would enjoy this movie.
there's no way of knowing.
If you're thinking about giving art house more, artsy-fartsy movies a try, I think this is a good place to try.
Yeah.
Start out with.
Yeah. Popular art house. Okay.
Popular actors.
I'm going to give
Familiar
this
faces.
one, I'm going to give it a motherfucking 6.5.
Whoa, that's a big jump.
I told you talked
Whoa
me
there,
up.
buddy.
You talked me up. 6.5 final.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
ep. Thanks for choosing this one.
Thank you. for
Yeah, I do have to
going
say
the
that
theater.
after I shat on you last time by not saying a word when you picked this film.
All you do is proverbially
It's because
proverbially shat
I
on
still
me.
haven't forgiven you for picking Inshiri's
Banshees of Inisherin.
Banshees of Inisherin
Oh,
just
God,
based
that
off
was like
of
20 picks ago.
nominations.
That very well may
That was
have been
literally a year ago.
Oh my god.
No, as long as we're going to the IPH Independent Picture House, Charlotte, North Carolina, look them up. I'm down for it. That's a cool theater.
Dang, this is lit. This is 2024 off to a great start. Dennis actually is a fan of going to the theater again. I never
No,
thought
not
it was
the theater.
Independent
IPH.
Picture House.
Okay.
Fuck Regal, fuck AMC.
Damn.
We
There goes
support
sponsorships.
nonprofit.
We'll have to leave that out if we want
Yeah.
sponsorship ever. All right. Dennis, your pick. Do we get democracy?
We get a democracy.
Yes.
And the last two episodes have been more artistic and metaphorical movies, In Men and Poor Things. So we're going to go right back to our roots of no mystery or no guise of artistic value, I guess.
Logan Lucky 2.
Yeah.
Terminator.
So we have choices. We want drama. Do we want thriller? Do we want comedy?
Thriller.
I don't want comedy.
You don't want comedy? Would it help you if I said the comedy was 96 minutes long?
Thriller.
I don't want comedy.
You don't want comedy? Okay.
We just did comedy.
Okay. Well,
Thriller.
this is more clearly comedy.
All right.
Thriller.
So, yeah.
Matt says thriller. What do you
Do you
say?
want thriller or okay, thriller?
Thriller.
Thriller. Okay, we're gonna go
hardly
for Martin Scorsese's The Departed.
Oh, I've never seen this.
Yeah, I saw this was one that you hadn't seen, Matt, and I'd only seen it once. Got a real kick out of it. I know this is a favorite for Zach, right?
It's on my list that I was going to pick this one soon.
Okay,
For the pod.
cool.
Yeah.
I think we hear that every week, but glad to hear it again. Either way, yeah, The Departed. I think it's from 2006, but stars Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, and the ever scary Jack Nicholson.
Oh, very fun. Awesome. I'm excited to watch this one. Good pick. Thank you very much. Come again. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Litterbox, your favorite shitty movie review podcast. Follow us on socials. Hit us up on the YouTube. Show us some love. We love you guys. Catch you on the next.
Bye, Stacey.
Come again.